Good morning and welcome to the month of May's Microsoft 365 Government Community Call. I'm very excited to have with me the usual suspects, Jeremy Wood, Sarah Gilbert, Rima Reyes. Everybody, how you doing? How's May going for you?
So far, so good.
Yeah?
Today's really
Doing
hot,
good.
so not exciting. I hate the heat. It's bad.
Oh no, it's gonna be hot.
I'm in the West Coast here right now, and I'm at the butt crack of dawn. So right now, today is just coffee. That's it. Mm,
Awesome. Well, listen, everybody, I'm very excited for today's show. We've got a really excellent guest talking about a feature that has a new capability and feature that has been talked about both positively and negatively for months. So I'm very excited to actually dig into what is Teams Premium and how it will affect the government cloud here in the near future. First things first, why don't we jump into the community news and roadmap updates?
All right. Well, as always, because our podcast comes out after the NARA user group, so you just missed it. It was last week, but the NARA M365 user group had a presentation by the FAA, and we'll post a link in the chat for you to get access to max.gov or for you to go to max.gov. You have to be government to go to that. Also coming up in just a day is the DC Power Platform meeting. They're going to be talking about designing power apps and estimating projects. We'll put the link in the chat, but you can register last minute for that. No big deal. And then they haven't set the date yet, but the M365 meetup for government is going to happen this month. But last month's topic was M365 administration inside and out. So just be watching for that.
And on May 11th, we have M365 DC. That is TBA. But last month, they did the importance of planning for successful Canvas app development. And some of this news I pulled not only from the blog, but also our Discord server as well for government IT Discord server that all the peeps go to. So let's see, May 18th, Baltimore SPUG, building smarter, faster SharePoint workflows with AI and ChatGPT. Also, two in-person events that are available if you are in the area or want to go. There is CMMC Day, which is May 15th in Arlington, Virginia, and the 7th Annual NDIA New England Cyber Conference on May 10th.
Yeah, and I know we're a little early and we don't normally talk about June until June, but there's a big conference in the DC area, 365 EduCon DC. Go to 365educon.com, and I believe you can use the code LEASK.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I'm sure I'm getting it wrong.
Self-promotion.
Right. For a big discount. It's not for me, it's for you. No, but come to the conference. There's a lot of really good sessions and there's a whole track for government. So I want to get that out there now so you don't miss it. It's a lot. And also, like we've said this before, if you have an event coming up in the next, let's say this summer, and you want us to talk about it in June, let us know. It's our community call, but it's for you. So, come tell us what you want in it. Let's jump into the roadmap. So, there were 204 updates this past month, 130 new items in development, 31 items began rolling out, and 42 were officially marked as launched. Rima, why don't you jump in and talk to us about what's going on with Teams?
Well, actually, one of the topics that we're going to be talking today is going to be about Teams Premium, which is now available in GCC. So our wonderful guest speaker is going to be talking a lot about that. But for other items, now across all the Gov tenants, you can now start Teams chats with distribution or mail distros, mail-enabled security groups, and O365 security groups, which is really cool. So you don't have to type in everything now manually. Another huge launch is conversational bots and message extensions available in DoD. I know this has been something that's been asked for a long time, just to be able to have bots in DoD. So that's a huge win. So anybody in DoD, go making some bots, because I know all of you want them and need them. Also, things that are currently in development and that they're announced in the roadmap, but they're not there yet. I know Jeremy and I, we've talked a lot about this, about like, hey, do we want to say this? But I feel like this is really important, and I think it's really smart for some of our government customers to maybe start looking into this. But loop components in Teams chat for GCC start reading up on what loop components are. They're a big part of the new Teams experience that you're going to be kind of living through in the next couple of years. So again, like start reading up what those are and playing around with them in a test tenant and commercial if you have. Watch videos. It's going to be a really cool sort of change in terms of how we work. It's going to definitely improve productivity. I know it has for me. And another big thing is DoD breakout rooms with pre-meeting creation and assignment. So again, huge win for DoD. We know breakout rooms are really important, especially when it comes to any sort of like learning or sort of like team meeting scenario. So again, go have fun with those, and hopefully you'll enjoy the Teams experience even more.
Yeah, if you find yourself asking why do we care about bots, check out our podcast release from last month. We had a great interview literally 2 years ago about bots, and I didn't even think about the fact that this was releasing in DoD this month. So like, I thought it was relevant to Power Platform in general, but so that's great. And then the loop components, my gosh, like Loop has some really great features. One of my favorite things to do with Loop is post after a meeting in the group chat. I will create a loop with the task items, the check items, so you can make sure everyone agrees. Yes, these are the tasks, and this is who owns them, and then you can start checking them off right then and there. So I think that's a great use of the tool set. A little bit more on what was going on in the roadmap. So there were a couple of updates. We know everyone's really patiently waiting for what the new experience to roll out for Stream. So video pages and video analytics should be rolling out across all GovClouds over the summer, and some of that has started. In the security side of things, Purview can now support automated sub-label assignments across Office apps, new case creation wizard in eDiscovery, and there were 4 items that began rolling out in security, 2 of them including that end users can report messages from shared and delegated messages. Shared and delegated inboxes, and there's a new enhancement to sort and filter messages and collections management in the eDiscovery Center. So some really big things there. And then on Viva, because again, I know the government side is all very anxious to see what happens with Viva and when is it going to start rolling out more fully across the government cloud. So again, this is all GCC right now. But praise in the Viva dashboard Viva Connections dashboard has rolled out. New topics experience regarding the SharePoint feed where topic cards can start pulling in additional content. And there was announcement of development of bot support for Viva Connection cards. Follow a topics Teams app, and Connections news notifications, all in development with expected release by this summer. So some really cool stuff there. And Jeremy, you also pointed out that Viva Insights app for Teams on the web is out.
It's starting to roll out this, I guess actually started rolling out last month for GCCI and DoD. So they're finally getting Viva to that level of cloud, which is pretty good.
Yeah. So lots of good stuff coming. Again, if you need a refresher on how to navigate the roadmap, let us know, and we're happy to walk you through. But the filter capabilities make it really easy to figure out what's happening in your specific cloud instance. Sarah, what's going on in the community news?
All right. Well, so this week is Public Service Recognition Week. Can I talk today? No, I can't. And they're going to be using Viva Insights to celebrate Public Service Recognition Week. We tell you how in our blog, so please be sure to go check it out. It's a special way to send praise. Also, we have Universal Print in GCC and GCC High in private preview currently, and then rolling out, as well as we have started a new blog series that we're calling Transforming State and Local Government IT, discovering the benefits of Microsoft 365 Government. Because so many changes are coming out, they're wanting to create a blog series that's going to highlight some of these changes, and each blog is going to focus on a critical area of IT, including the end user experiences, security optimization, and operational efficiencies with data analytics when available. So stay tuned for more of that. We have the official announcement blog already out, though.
Awesome. And I cannot, again, I said it in the community events, I cannot stress enough, if you want us to talk about something specific, if you want to announce something in the community, reach out to Sarah. She would love to have you writing content for anything related to the GCC, GCC High, and DoD tenants. I would say I'm sure she'd be happy to hear if you have stuff for IL6 or IL7 tenants, but I don't know if we're allowed to post any of that stuff, so who knows? All right. Well, listen, we love doing that session, that roundup of what's going on in the community, but I'm very excited today for our special guest. First, we'd like to welcome Margi Desai. Margi is the product manager in Teams Engineering. She's here to talk to us about the much discussed rollout of Teams Premium, available today in GCC, excuse me, and expected rollout of DoD and GCC High later this summer. Margi, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jay. And hi, everyone. By way of introduction, I'm the licensing product manager for Teams Premium, and it's a pleasure to be here to discuss Teams Premium in the government cloud.
We're super excited to have you aboard. Margi, let's start with the obvious question. What is Teams Premium? Why do we care?
So Teams Premium is a new add-on to Microsoft Teams. It offers features like advanced meeting capabilities, including large language models, which is powered by OpenAI's GPT to make meetings more intelligent, personalized, and protected. The goal of Teams Premium is really to help organizations adapt to change, improve productivity, and reduce costs while streamlining their software investments. In addition, we really want people to be able to do more with less. So today, many organizations not only pay for meeting solutions, but they also purchase expensive add-on products for webinars, virtual appointments, meeting intelligence, and much more. With Teams Premium, customers can get these advanced meeting capabilities and more for one low cost.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I know there's a lot of people who might look at Teams Premium and say, hey, we don't know exactly what it is, but that's a great introduction to it. And I highly encourage folks to definitely go check out the documentation too, by the way, because it's really super clear as to like what's included in it, which is really nice. So thank you, Margi, also for that. Let's talk about, speaking of features, can we break down some of the most talked about features in this new AI model? So can you tell us more a little bit about the first portion, which is the intelligent recap? Can you let us know a little bit about that?
Sure. So Teams is infusing AI throughout the meeting experience, helping people be more productive in new ways. So what we have for Teams Premium is something called Intelligent Recap, which is where, you can automatically get generated meeting notes, recommended tasks, topics, and even personalized highlights to really help you get the information that's most important to you, even if you missed the meeting. So some of the features that we have are AI-generated chapters, which divide the meeting into sections. So it's easy to pick and choose the content that's most relevant to you. So instead of, trying to catch up on 5 30-minute meetings, you can just go into those meetings and click through the sections, so this is the information I want out of this recording, and this is how I'll get it, and really easily saving some time. Then we also have personalized timeline markers, which tell end users when they joined or left a meeting in the meeting recording, so you can quickly click and listen in on whatever you have missed. Personalized timeline markers also includes when your name was mentioned and when a screen was shared. And so if your manager was in a meeting with you and they mentioned your name a few times and you had some follow-up items, you can skip to those at mentions and get up to date. And then lastly, we also have speaker timeline markers that really show you who spoke during the meeting, when they spoke, and really allows you to just jump to that moment and catch up on what a specific person or maybe someone that you work with mentioned.
I love this because if we have a meeting now and we mention Jeremy's name and we assign him all this work and he's not there, now he can use that to catch up. I'm just joking.
No.
Does it make them appear in
No, it's really going to be used for is when you're in 2 meetings at once and you're not actually listening.
There you go.
Exactly. Welcome to the How to Do Your Job More Efficiently While Sleeping show today.
So
it's great. Everyone wants to skip the intro in YouTube and whatnot, and so
that's true. That's so true. Oh, well, and I'm in government, so I will tell you, many government meetings, it just frustrates me to death. They start out with, here, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. Why don't we just talk about it? I'm like, we can spend 15 minutes just talking about the agenda for the day. Anyway, that's just me. All right. Well, Margie, I'm really interested in, how does AI, or what is AI driven translation?
Yeah, so that's a great question. AI is, really also here to help with some of the toughest collaboration challenges that we have, which is really working with people who natively speak different languages. We have all of these global meetings, and there's multiple different languages, and sometimes there are a lot of language barriers. So basically, anyone can turn on live captions in Teams and see real-time captions in the spoken language. So if, there's a meeting where participants are speaking different languages, organizations often spend thousands of dollars for additional real-time meeting translation services. With live translations for captions now available through Teams Premium, you can get AI-powered real-time translations from over 40 spoken languages. Meeting participants can basically read the captions in their own language, which will, save money and make meetings more productive and effortless. Only the meeting organizer, by the way, in this scenario needs to have a Teams Premium license for all meeting attendees to enjoy the live translations.
That is the best thing I heard about that entire thing. Now, my current agency I work at, we don't have a lot of interaction with overseas individuals, but my last agency was a foreign aid agency, and we had lots of meetings with people who, it would be easier sometimes for them to just say what they wanted to say in their native language than it was for them to figure out how to translate to English.
Yeah.
That's really interesting from a licensing perspective. I appreciate you bringing that up. We often don't get the opportunity to talk about licensing. So you're saying these features, they require the organizer to be licensed, but not every attendee, which is, did I understand that correctly?
So that was the case for live captions,
Gotcha.
translated captions, but for other features, it really varies. Overall, Teams Premium is a per user per month offering, and technically each user that wants to benefit from the functionality of Teams Premium should be assigned a license. However, there are some specific meeting and event features that will extend the benefit to all attendees. And the goal of this is to really optimize the meeting or event by ensuring that all attendees have a uniform experience. And that includes live captions for translated captions, as well as watermark end-to-end encryption, which I'll go into more details maybe once we start discussing protected meetings.
Okay.
Yeah. Since you mentioned new advanced protection features, what do these include?
Yeah. So, I think protected meetings is a really interesting one, and really, will probably be near and dear to the government cloud customers. So as meetings have shifted to the virtual and hybrid world, it has created a new set of information protection challenges for organizations. Sensitive and confidential business conversations like board meetings, financial discussions, or any undisclosed product reviews now happen through Teams meetings. So with advanced meeting protections available, meeting protection available through Teams Premium, you can easily upgrade safeguards for confidential business meetings without really hampering the meeting experience. So think like new meeting options like watermarking to deter leaks, limiting who can record, which will give you additional protections to make the discussion private. And then also meeting organizers can leverage a unique watermark over the attendee screen share and video feeds to confidently present and display sensitive information. And then for those rare, extremely sensitive meetings where that might require disabling some of the core meeting features, such as recording, for advanced encryption, IT-enabled users can also apply end-to-end encryption options to the meeting. Just want to be clear and share that data exchange during Teams calls or meetings is always secured using industry standard encryption, but this end-to-end encryption is an additional layer of protection to ensure that that information is going just from point A to point B with no third-party eavesdropping.
That's great. I appreciate you digging into some of those, some of the ways people can use things. So, what kind of feedback are you getting from the industry so far?
Yeah, so we're really getting a lot of excitement from government customers and financial services around watermarking, end-to-end encryption, sensitivity labels to really secure that highly confidential data. And then we've also heard from other organizations that not only pay for meeting solutions, but they also purchase really expensive add-on products for webinars, virtual appointments, meeting intelligence, and more from different providers at a variety of price points. They're really excited to hear that we're offering all of this in one package at a low per user price point.
That's awesome.
So we talked about this being in GCC today. Is everything you've described there, or what is available in the GovClouds today?
Yeah, so Microsoft's engineering has really made it a priority to start trying to launch in commercial and GCC at the same time, while also getting really better at documenting the differences between the two, because we know that some of these regulated environments don't always get the same features on the same schedule. While AI features are still rolling out, even for commercial, most protected and personalization features are already available in GCC. And then by July and August timeframe, all features should be available in GCC. We also do have our trial out and available, so all government customers can go ahead and start that 30-day trial, so they can start testing out the features. And then when they're ready, it's available for purchase. And then Jay, as you mentioned earlier, the SKU for GCCH and DoD clouds will be targeted to be available later this summer.
That's
so
awesome.
exciting. Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
then who should be licensed for Teams Premium, or who should I license, or how should a company be planning that out? I'm curious as to what the breakdown of that is.
Yeah, so Teams Premium is a per user per month offering. And essentially you want to be able to license anyone that will benefit from the service. There are certain features that are extended coverage, like watermark, end-to-end encryption, a lot of those protected meeting options. So it really depends on who in the organization is looking for the licensing. So if you're, maybe focusing more on the security side, then it's more for meeting organizers, like, organizers that want to enable watermark, end-to-end encryption, sensitivity labels for highly confidential meetings. However, if you want users in your organization to have access to intelligent recap, that is a per user feature. So all users would require a license to be able to access those intelligent recap features like timeline markers, AI notes, and things like that.
Makes sense.
And then also, I don't think we really touched on the personalization feature, so I just want to add a little bit of context there too. We have added some features that not every customer needs, but for those who do, advanced webinars and want to better personalize, manage, secure, and track participants. We also have templates, custom policy packages, branding, and virtual appointments. We've added a variety of features that will appeal really to a wide range of customers, and even government customers can really benefit from the branding when they're meeting with external participants, and they really want to have that branded experience. It's a lot of goodness there.
I know a lot of government customers have asked for that too, by the way. Sorry, just not to. I remember when I was doing Teams and DoD, I remember DoD was specifically asking for that too. Hey, we want to be able to watermark or brand the meetings experience so that people even know that hey, this is what this meeting is and what environment we're hopping into. It kind of gives people a visual reminder before they enter that world, right? So
out of curiosity though, when it comes to that, and will there be able to be sub-branding within a tenant? For example, the Army's got 1 million users, 40 or 50 major commands. I could see military entrance processing who's in that tenant, but covers entrance processing for the entire DoD wanting their own brand on meetings. Is that the kind of thing we'll be able to see?
Yeah, that's actually, something that we're actively working on as well. So you actually would be able to have different branding per subsidiary within an organization.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Interesting. So I'm going to ask the question, Jay. How is this working out so far? I mean, how within the government space, are there people who are taking advantage of these features now?
Yeah, so we are seeing, a lot of government customers have already started the trial, and they are using them. Not only that, we've gotten a lot of customer meetings that have taken place already. A lot of excitement, mainly around protection and intelligence. Government customers are super excited for both of those areas and are, have been eager. I can also speak for GCCH and DoD customers. They've been eager to hear more about what's going to be available when and when they can start using these features.
And then what about the non-licensed experience? So we've talked a little bit about, for example, in those scenarios where you're working with like external users that Jeremy described, where only the organizer requires it. But what else should non-licensed users expect to experience when they're in a meeting where something Teams Premium might be used?
Yeah, so if, for example, Jay, if you are the organizer of this meeting and you have meeting options like watermark, intent encryption, and maybe branding, available, then if me, Rima, Jeremy, and Sarah, and Debbie, if we were all to join the meeting, then we all would benefit from those meeting options, and we would see the branding, the intent encryption, the watermark, so on and so forth. However, after the meeting, if I wanted to access, the recording insights such as intelligent recap, if I don't have a license, I just wouldn't see those insights, and I would just see a generic, recording and transcription. However, Jay, since you have a license, you would be able to go back and see all of the AI notes, the recommended tasks, the chapters, all of that goodness, because you have a license.
I can't decide, going back to our earlier scenario, I can't decide if you give the people who have attention problems the premium features or you keep them from them to keep them attentive, right?
That's so funny. Oh my God, that's awesome.
So how do people get started with Teams Premium?
So the SKU for government customers was launched on March 1st. So they could go ahead, get started with the free trial using the 30-day trial that's available today, or they can just go ahead and purchase it directly.
Awesome.
Yeah, and if you're in the government, just like any other organization, you have to go and talk to the person who runs your Microsoft Enterprise Agreement, right, to provision those.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my follow-up. Is there an extra step to enabling? And we'll certainly link it as well in the blog.
There always is in the government, right? Because the way we apply funds is such a pain in the butt, right? We have to go through our procurement process to apply modify a contract and add the funds. So, but it's something that everybody in government's used to doing.
I thought you said the way we apply fun, and I was like, what?
No fun. Yeah, we don't apply fun in the government. There's no fun in the government.
There's an application process.
I do want to mention one item though. Initially it was a 30-day trial, but we are extending it to 60 days for government customers. So that's a plus point for sure.
That's good because it takes us forever to make a decision.
You heard it first, folks. That's awesome.
Jeremy,
and then we also have the blog.
I love having you on the show. Go ahead, Margi. Sorry.
We also have a blog post. And I can share the link with you folks to add it in the description. But that blog post will help anyone get started in terms of configuring these features for users in their tenant.
That's awesome. Margi, I'm going to put you on the spot here. So we had a really good conversation about some of these capabilities. What is, like, if you were to, as a government user, you listen to the show, what is the elevator pitch you want them to take away for what is Teams Premium and why do I care? So that when they bump into their CIO in the elevator, they can be like, oh my gosh, we need this because.
I would really, hone in on all of the protection capabilities, because that's something that's really, important to government customers. A lot of the additional and advanced meeting protection features that we're coming out with, watermarking, intent encryption, sensitivity labels, that's not even it. There's a lot more that's coming. This is just the beginning of all of the protection features. And so I would really highlight all of the goodness with the additional layer of protection and how, it can really allow for additional communication and collaboration that wasn't possible before due to some of the lack of protection meeting features in the hybrid world.
That's That's great. No, that's a really, really good point to sink in. Is one of the things as a software vendor myself, like one of the things we talk about is, look, there's all these really cool, nice to haves, but this is the thing that matters. This is the thing that's going to, move the needle for your organization or meet your organization's strategic goal. So focusing in on the ways Teams Premium will help you protect your data is a great focus for your elevator pitches. So Margi, thank you so much for joining us today. Is there anything else you wanna put out there? Is there a blog people can find you at? Maybe the public sector community blog?
Yes, we can
Yes.
definitely have you blog with us. Just saying.
Yes, for sure. We do have a blog post in tech community, but I would be more than happy to bring it into the government sector one as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Margi, for joining us today. Rima, Sarah, Jeremy, looking forward to hopefully talking about Build next month. We'll see if we get that lined up. But so it looks like we've got Build and then CMMC in July. So lots of good stuff coming in the next couple of months here. Margi, again, thank you for joining us. And that's all for today, folks.
Thank you all.